You ready?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm straight.
All right, well then let's go and do this.
All right, let's do that. Episode 476 of the show. Daniela, what is up?
Me having to fix this video thing. I thought I had that set.
It's all good. It's all good. What is up?
You know, one of these days, I actually want us to go back and revisit Skype.
Really?
I kind of just for testing purposes, only because, well, like they introduced that NDI stuff like earlier this year.
Okay. So
I'm curious. You know, I just want to see how that goes.
Okay.
Even if it's just for like one episode.
Okay. So how are you?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm so ready for the holidays. Like,
I know.
Last couple years, like, well, okay. Last year was the first year that I was like super looking forward to the holidays.
Okay.
And I thought that was bizarre. And I'm feeling that same way right now. So, like, I am ready to just skip over Thanksgiving and just go right into like Christmas. And I am absolutely determined that in the next 3 days, I'm going to have my Christmas tree set up and ready to go before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Like, I wanted it up on November 1st. And yet everybody was like, no, you can't do that. You know, at least wait till after Thanksgiving because it's not right. And I'm like, you know what? I waited. I put it off for 3 weeks.
You could do that if you want. You can do whatever you want. It's your tree.
After TwitchCon. I know. So excited. And my son's kind of excited because he's like the Christmas tree ambassador. It's always his duty to put the tree up and decorate it.
Nice.
So it's turned into his thing for like the last 3-4 years, and we don't do the real tree thing anymore. We do the fake tree.
Yeah, I heard you mention that on stream, I think.
Yeah, it's too much of a hassle for us now to have a real tree because we can't simply we don't have a service for somebody to come by and pick up our tree. So we have to go and bring it ourselves, and I don't have a truck, so I can't do that anymore.
Okay.
So it's just more a little bit cost effective to just have a fake tree rather than buying a real one.
Okay.
So that's where we're at. And he decided he wanted to have a white Christmas tree for the next several years, and we'll just decorate it in colors with whatever ornaments. So he chose black ornaments with a little bit of silver and red throughout there.
That's nice. Pictures?
I'm excited. Not yet.
Okay. So I'm looking forward to
that.
I'm looking forward to pictures. So 476 seems like we haven't recorded for about 2 weeks, I would say. Something
2 weeks felt like 2 months.
It did. So guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Head over to theshowradio.info/listen and subscribe. Use the hashtag TSRpod. Check in with us and let us know where you're listening from, that kind of a thing. First things first, since we haven't been around for a while, Stan Lee, Daniela.
That news hit everybody so hard. Like I was shocked. I mean, I hate to put it that way, that it's like something that you have to expect, especially considering he lived a very full life. He did. And he brought so much joy into a lot of people's lives. And I think there was a tweet that somebody posted out. I can't find it now. I thought I favorited it, but it was something that it was tweeted a few years ago or something like that. And it was just a repost of somebody mentioning that one of these days you're going to have like this Marvel movie that you watch that will be different from all the rest. And at the end, it'll be, you know, in memory of, and it was going to be Stan Lee. So it's like,
wow.
Even though you know it's coming because that's a cycle of life, you know, it happens, people pass on. You still never really prepare yourself for that.
No,
so
you don't. You can't.
When it comes out, which what is the next Marvel movie? Is that Captain Marvel? I think it might be
Captain Marvel.
It's gonna be something else.
2019. Yeah, Captain Marvel. Yeah.
I kind of wonder, like, did they pre-record? Like, did they record his cameos already, or?
I hope so. I mean, they might do holograms and stuff for him and CG him into the stuff to remember him. I wouldn't be surprised if they go that route.
Or even if, like, I'm also, like, thinking Spider-Man, him swinging around through the city and, like, he has his own billboard.
Right.
And that's how I don't know what he'll be advertising, but I think the other really cool thing that somebody mentioned is that how cool would it be if, because you had Stan Lee, he was like a DJ, he was, a mailman, a bus driver, he was all these different cameos and all these different things. So, somebody like mentioned like how cool would it be if like these superheroes like, hey, I have like this, this funeral I have to attend for a friend, and then they all show up and end up just, they all ended up being the same person. I don't know. There's like all these really touching and really cool ideas that I've seen posted out there.
Yeah, it's definitely sad. Like even back in the day, I remember, when I used to live, in Haiti, I used to read, different comic books and stuff, whether it was Spider-Man or Iron Man and any of those characters. It was just like, wow, the Thing, Fantastic Four, like all those different characters that just, we started seeing on screen later on. You know what I mean? It's just amazing, the world that's been created with, all these, characters. And I was shocked when I saw the news. I was just like, what? I was shocked, but, definitely some great memories there, and watching everything that's coming on screen because of his inspiration, to create what he has. Such an amazing life, So, yeah, word.
I'm lucky that we got to live during a time where we still got to experience this man and all of his creations, and just to have him in our life for this generation, or for my son to even know who Stan Lee is.
Absolutely.
And to recognize it. I think that's cool.
Absolutely. So you have that. So rest in peace, the great Stan Lee. But there's a whole bunch of stuff that's been happening. I mean, I can go from the party bus stuff to sodium intake, Daniela. I mean, I need to know what's going on with you. What's up with the sodium that you're about to drop?
This is a personal thing. I wouldn't say it's directly at AverMedia, but it's enough salt to last me to like the end of the year.
Okay.
So yeah, everybody knows that I was part of the Dream Streamer contest, and I was, I felt I joined in a little bit late, but I was still, I think, one of the first seven, I think. First 7 people who signed up for it. So yeah, you had to promoting your channel and your message, and their whole, theme was, dream, stream, and share, and you had people to vote on it. And then from those, the people who voted, they had like the finalists.
Okay.
The finalists who are going to be streaming at TwitchCon, which they did have people, they gave the option for people to, stream at TwitchCon as well too.
Yeah. How was that?
Try out their stuff. That was cool. That was fun. The people there that were working there wasn't directly AverMedia. They were actually just the PR company that AverMedia was working with.
Okay.
And they were also the same people who were running the contest. So they opened it so that people can stream and check out the products, and it was really cool and it was really nice. And they also had it so that the finalists for this contest would be there, because although it was optional, it was heavily suggested that we stream there, because the 30-minute video that we had while we were there that was recorded, would be submitted along with the original video, so that when they came to judging, they're going to be looking at all that. They're going to be looking at your past VODs. They're going to be looking at your streams. They looked at your social media. I'm like, okay, well, that sounds cool. I mean, they really want somebody.
That's a lot of stuff. Right.
It is a lot of stuff, but they really want to make sure that the person that they choose, or the top 5 people that they choose to win their contest, convey that message. I'm like, awesome. I felt so confident that, I did a great job at that, no matter what they looked at. I woke up on the 15th to an email saying that I wasn't chosen. I'm like, okay, that's cool.
The 15th of November.
The 15th of November. That's when they chose their winners. Because they had 1 first place winner, 1 second place winner, and 3 places for third place.
3 places for third.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they chose 3 people for the third place. So it's
That's
not
ambitious.
Like 3rd, 4th, and 5th. But they had that. So it's pretty much 5 ways to possibly win. I didn't get any of them. And I was in shock. And I was like, I didn't even get a finalist, like a runner up, or like, okay. So I went to go look at, who won.
Okay.
And honestly, I thought it was the other people that I was, competing against that were there majority of the time. And the person who won, like, I ended up having somewhere like 384 votes. Which really, if you went by votes alone, I was kind of like in 4th or 5th place.
Okay. Which is 3rd.
Yeah, which is their 3rd.
Thank you.
But, yeah, so the person who won signed up while at TwitchCon. They used his 30-minute video while at TwitchCon. He submitted that. He had 7 votes, and that's it.
Wait, what do you mean? Wait. What do you mean?
Video.
But 7 doesn't compare to 300 plus votes?
Apparently.
So how did they?
So I don't know. I really don't know. And I looked at who, only one person in those 5 placements that was actively in the contest with us at the same time had one of those places. I think he came in I think he was one of the 3rd place winners there.
Okay.
So I went to the person who won the contest with his 7 votes. And I was like, oh, maybe he tweeted out a whole bunch and stuff and he had this great message. Not a single, he had 2 tweets. He had 2 tweets that had to do with a contest period. The first initial one saying that he was going to be streaming at the booth, and the second one to say he joined the contest.
Okay.
I went full on, there's gotta be something that makes this guy mind-blowingly, number 1, who blew out the original 6-7 of us.
Right.
And, I was like, your VODs are just as good as the rest of ours.
Right.
How did you win with 7 votes?
Yeah, how did they do that? Because I'm looking at votes right now. I see 145, 7, 5, 6, 399, 72, 386, 69, 2587, 2712, 142, 579, and 157.
And
That's
he won
interesting.
with 7 votes.
That's interesting.
And I sat there in complete shock, and I'm like, I'm not gonna be upset. I tried so hard to look on the bright side of things because I'm not mad at the person who won. First of all, I was very happy that he won.
But the system doesn't make sense.
The system doesn't make sense, but that's on AverMedia's side. That doesn't have anything. I don't take it. It's not going to be personal against the person who won.
Right.
Because, I mean, it's not like he persuaded, he wasn't his decision for him to win. And
right.
he's a young kid. I think he's 20 years old. He's up and coming. He's a very, very positive, very person looking at his VODs, looking through his stuff. But just sitting there thinking are you gotta be kidding me? And I looked at the other people who were ahead of me on votes, and I wanted to see what their responses were. And they did not have any positive responses about what happened.
Nobody did.
I'm glad I'm not the saltiest one here.
Okay.
But I didn't openly put myself out on Twitter like that because that day I'm like, I got nothing nice to say right now. If I have nothing nice to say, I'm gonna hold that, let it go. Cause again, it's yeah, I can tweet out at AverMedia all I want, my anger for it, but what's it gonna solve? Nothing. And then just I don't want to deal with any tweets of you mad, bro?
You don't want to do that.
Like I said, I don't want to do that. I mean, yeah. It is what it is. I'm going to take that in strides because that's all he can really do. I'm so confused how that entire contest was held.
Okay, so technically,
what is it?
Right. So technically, as I'm looking at these votes, the person that should have won, if it was according to votes, is this 2712 person.
Yeah.
That's the highest. And then second would have been 2587. And then thirds would include, let me see. Thirds would include 399, 386, and, 579.
Some of those votes though.
Yeah.
Hi there, Ruru. It's funny because the voting was supposed to stop October 31st.
What's up, Ruru? What's going on? Okay.
They allowed the voting to continue right up until the 15th when they decided the winner.
Okay.
So they never closed the voting.
That is weird. Okay. Got it. I think I get it. As much of it as I can. Okay. So fair enough.
Yeah. So that's how that went down. I didn't place. Their rulings that they had, they didn't stick to it. I don't like how you set these rules and you didn't stick to your rules. Like, I don't.
All right. So the background of that, I do want to say, from what I recall you stating to me, is that you recorded that video in like one shot, right? One take, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. You did the very best that you could. You entered, right? Cause that's a big deal too. Cause it's like all these contests comes out. And sometimes we don't enter when we have the ability to. So I would say definitely kudos to you for even putting yourself out there like that, because there's a lot of individuals who thought about entering and they did not, right? So the experience of going through that process, which I'm sure is not your first contest, nor is it going to be your last, but the fact that you went through the process to do that, definitely shout outs to you for that. That's good stuff.
It's definitely interesting. You know what's the killer though? Right. Is that even though the voting didn't determine exactly who the number one winner was going to be, but our voting points counted for 50% of the overall.
I don't get it.
7 votes.
I don't get it. That's a good number. It's a good number. 7 is a good number. It's the number of completion.
Yeah, right now.
Okay, Daniela, let's move on to the next thing. Okay, so I had a good time in Cancun. First time to Mexico, not the first time being, on an international spot. First time for my family to be out in an international spot, which I was excited for them. More so because I remembered subconsciously the process of traveling and going through customs and stuff like that. And it was the first time that my family was experiencing that, which was neat to see and watch. But we got there, had a good time. I was there for my sister's wedding. That was fantastic. Had a good time, party and all that good stuff. First spot we were at was an all-inclusive spot with the food and everything included. And then the other spot was more like a what do you call those things? Timeshare type spot, which is where we spent the rest of our days either doing volleyball or chilling by the beach and that kind of a thing. So it was dope. So for those who sent good vibes, prayers and all that stuff, we got back safe, obviously, because I'm here on the mic again. So thank you for that. Pictures, all that good stuff, memories created and all that. So it was really nice.
I'm so jealous of all of your videos.
What do you mean?
Because it looked like so much fun and it looked so good.
It was good.
How many suits do you have too? I was like, man, that is one good looking suit. You looking fly over there too.
Appreciate it. It was,
you and your entire family look good. That looks like a great.
It was good. It was definitely good to be there. But see, the thing with the suit, most of my suits now do not fit because of the weight that I lost. So I had to get remeasured for that, which they do anyway when you have to rent a suit. So now the measurements that they gave me is what I'm going to use to get, new stuff and get rid of, donate the stuff that really don't fit. Like they're too baggy. I don't like them. I barely want to wear suits now because of the new measurements that I experienced with the suit that I wore for the wedding versus the stuff that I have in the closet now, which really don't fit me properly. So that's the wardrobe changes needs to happen. But yeah, it was good. It was good. I really enjoyed volleyball on the beach because that's my thing. I love volleyball.
All right, tell me about this bus though.
Okay, so I think the bus, so we were near, for those who've never been to that spot in Mexico, it's really a party tourism area, right? But the buses that were running in front of most of the hotels is the R1 and the R2. And you have to pay like 12 pesos to be on there, which is like $1 or $2 US or whatever it is. But that bus, to me, it seems like most of the buses are independently owned. Maybe I guess that's the vibe that I was getting, because the way this driver decorated his bus, I mean, he had his own like studio jamming DJ session inside the bus. And I'm like, is this like a thing? But the other guys that we took, as far as the other buses that were, the same line, number didn't have all those fancy stuff to it. So this guy had like a comic book, thing going on, and he had like, Batman signals and stuff like that. And one of the things I really did notice, which I was sharing, with my fam, was that if you notice when you do international, most of the individuals who drive, they drive manual cars, right? But when you go into the States, they don't. Because my thing is, I think Americans are lazy when it comes to that. But that's just my personal, thing. But I noticed that pretty much everybody drove a manual car, whether it was a taxi guy or the buses were manual and the other stuff that we're taking. So he was just jamming. Like he started changing the music and you had one guy hanging outside of the doorway while the bus was moving. And I'm like, I guess this is a thing. So we sat down and we're jamming to some of the EDM that he was playing. And I was like, you know what? Let me just record that. And that's what we recorded on Instagram. And he was just having a good time. And I think that was good. That was good. And I really enjoyed that everybody, so the movies paints pictures of different countries and territories, right? And yes, I do understand that is a tourism area, right? But at the same time, when we ventured out to the supermarket, the Perfecto supermarket in that area, everybody's just like really humble versus the things that we hear how, Mexican are portrayed. And even when we went away from the main tourism area to, where the supermarket was and just hanging out around there and just, seeing the actual soldiers just, doing their thing. Yeah, they're protecting to make sure everybody's cool. So they keep coming, to make money because, of tourism and stuff like that. But just the individuals who are just living their lives, minding their own business, just humble people. And I kind of expected that. Because, I remember when I used to live in Haiti, that's the vibes that I got. So I was kind of used to seeing individuals just living their lives, being, humble and doing what they got to do, showing a lot of love. And I don't know if it was a thing that is, native with Mexicans, to some degree, but when they really, appreciate something you've done for them in a moment, like they put their hand over their area where their heart is, like to show that they really appreciated that gesture that you did, whatever that was, whether that was giving them additional pesos, American dollars, or whatever the case. Or you just showed appreciation for their services or just being kind human being, to another kind human being. They appreciate that by, showing love by putting their hand here. So, I was talking to a buddy of mine while we were out there. I said, do you notice that? And he was like, what? I said, every time they appreciate something you've done for them, the Mexican male or female, whoever it is, they show that they really appreciate that gesture by, so little things like that I was picking up and just enjoying like the 80 degrees okay. So let's put things into perspective, Daniela. You have the great weather too. Okay. So I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, I'm jealous, but, you walk out and you're in paradise, for individuals who would love to be, who would love to consider traveling where you are in Hawaii. Okay. So you have that weather pretty much all the time, with the exception of, the volcano stuff and different things like that, mudslides, stuff like that. But your weather is just amazing too. So we got to come check you out. We're trying to plan different trips now. So we have Cuba on the list. We got Canada on the list, for international, which is just like 8-hour border crossover kind of thing. Haiti might be on the list in the near future, depending on how we want to plan those trips. But, definitely had a good time.
That's good. You needed it.
Yeah, I needed it. I needed it. So one thing I was really surprised to see though is, you mentioned that you didn't really dig Cowboys as much.
No, and I'm still not.
Okay. So why are you playing all this Red Dead though? I'm trying to understand.
Because I'm trying to, because I am told that the beginning is slow, but it builds up and it's great. And you know what? It's not fair for me to hate on a game that I didn't try yet. I didn't give it a chance. So here I am trying my best to give it a chance.
Okay.
Man, Red Dead Redemption is so boring to me.
Okay, because?
It's just so empty. Like, the story feels so dry to me. I feel like I'm just going through the motions, and the one thing that is really pushing me and getting me to come back and playing it each time is the fact that I wanna fill out my compendium, which is like getting the like hunting all the animals, finding all the different herbs. Oh gosh, 1 second.
Word. Excited for episode 476. Okay, you're back?
Yeah, I'm back. So, it's just like, it's just getting all of those things to fill it out. But the story, like, I'm picking up the quests, I'm picking up the bounties, and I'm like, the story isn't interesting to me yet. And it's not building up for me yet. And I feel like every time somebody keeps telling me, it's like, it'll get there. And I'm like, when does it get there? Because I think I put in, like, so far, probably 12 to 14 hours so far. And
so what would you compare it to? Like, is there anything you would compare it to in terms of replay value, excitement level, anything? No. Nothing.
Nothing.
Wow. It made a lot of money, though.
It did. And people are liking it. And they're like, oh, it's like a cowboy Grand Theft Auto. And I'm like, Grand Theft Auto is so much more fun.
Okay. Fair enough.
Like, I'm not seeing it yet. And like, my amusement comes from like the mishaps of stuff that I don't intentionally mean to do just because of like the physics that are in the game. You have no idea how many times I've crashed my horse in full sprint into a tree by accident because I was reading chat. So you can't like read chat and ride at the same time.
You can't do it.
No. And then there was this one time I was like very slowly, very casually walking or riding my horse.
Right.
And like there was a low branch, and that low branch flew me off with such momentum that my body did a 360 before I fell on the ground. I'm like, how did that happen? We were going so slow.
Wow.
And like, that's where I'm getting the amusement out of it. But like the story is just not there for me. And I'm not gonna give it, you know, I'm not gonna call it quits.
You're giving it some time.
I'm giving it. Yes, I am.
Some more time.
Yes.
So do you have...
If I hit the 40-hour mark, I'm going to give it 40 hours, okay? If I hit the 40-hour mark and I still think this game is boring, I'm done.
Okay, so do you have like what? Dailies, weeklies, quests, main storyline? Like, what's the setup so far?
I don't even know what I'm doing. That's how,
what's the wanted thing? What is the wanted thing? What is all that
Okay,
about?
so... That's the thing that's driving me insane too. So if you are caught doing something that's questionable, like if you accidentally kick or kill somebody's dog or cow that belongs to them, or you're caught murdering or getting into this fight, you'll end up being wanted, and a bounty is put onto your head.
Got it.
So, you know, you can be, it's kind of like getting those stars in, you know, Grand Theft Auto. You know, the lawmen will come, they'll investigate and find you, hunt you down, they'll set your dogs after you, get arrested, you pay a fine. But it's driving me insane is that, so there's these random instances where you'll come across somebody who needs help, or they're getting robbed, or they're being hogtied and taken away, and they're calling for help. So I stop, but I help them, and I get into this scuffle with these bad guys.
Right.
And then next thing I know, I'm getting hunted down and investigated. We're helping this person. I'm like, how does that make sense? Why are you hunting me? I was helping him out.
Right.
Helping him. And then I'm thinking, I'm like, dude, I just helped you. Why are you not telling the lawman that I am on the right side? No, you're letting them hunt me down.
Okay.
And then there's this one town called Strawberry that I'm like, oh wow, there's a lot of cool things here.
Right.
I'll go and check it out. Like they're like one of the quests like led me there for whatever reason. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go and check out this. But you know, I'll do it after I finish up this quest. And
right.
I do whatever it is, and it turns out that you're one of your buddies is in jail or whatever, and for whatever reason, you break him out of jail. You get into this like gunfights with the lawmen in this town. You help them escape, and you know what? There's a bounty on your head in this town. I'm like, man, I should have checked out the town before like I continued on this quest.
Oh my gosh.
There's a bounty on my head here, and nowhere is safe. And I didn't even get to check out what they had in this town. Yeah.
Okay.
That's where I'm at with this game.
So Ru says, I'm from the Northeast and I have no interest in combat simulator, Cowboy Simulator. I said combat. Cowboy Simulator 2. I think it's a Western thing. I'm hearing good things, and I kind of expected that you were going to feel the way you feel about it, because you say you don't like cowboys, but you like pirates. So if this was a pirate game, and a pirate setting, I think that'd be right in your wheelhouse of things that you really enjoy. So I'm not completely surprised that you're working through the process of playing this game, Red Dead. So yeah.
But I think if I give it a good solid 48 hours of a try, I feel like that is a good solid amount of time to give to a game for it to be exciting, for it to be interesting, and for it to change a person's mind about what they think about the genre.
I agree.
And like I said, I think I'm like 12 or 14 hours in. I got some time. Red Dead's got some time. We'll see how it is.
Do you like anything about it?
I like my horse.
Okay. That's nice. That's nice.
I like my horse, and I named him Patches, and that's kind of it.
Patches. Nice. Yeah. Okay, so one of the things that you mentioned earlier, I guess I wanted to jump back to real quick, is not sharing certain thoughts on social because it doesn't capture it well. Especially like, short burst of 240 characters or 280, whatever it is. It goes to show you how much I'm using that lately. As well as being vocal about, particular things where the context will get diluted, which is why I think this format, the audio format where you can express yourself, you're not necessarily timed on what you're saying, is a great format because you can express exactly what is going on with you as it was intended originally, right? To get that information out. Which is why, as we talked in previous conversations, I don't spend that much time on Twitter anymore. Like, unless somebody @s me, I don't know what your philosophy on it right now. Unless somebody @s me, specifically or DMs me, I don't see Twitter, like I used to. Because I feel that anything that I want to share, I'd rather share it here with you and for our community, and the individuals who listen to the show will get that information the way we wanted that information to go out. So not saying that, they're not, I gotta be careful. Not saying that I can't share my thoughts on Twitter and social media. I just rather not to at this time. And I guess, yeah, I'll go with that. Any thoughts on that bit?
It's interesting that you said that, because there's something that it's not so much what's said online, and it's kind of a similar thing, but the opposite. It's what's happening offline. So, earlier this week, I'm always on social media. I don't think I kind of try to censor what I say, only because sometimes it might not be politically correct, or, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings because we have a difference of opinion on something. I'm always respectful of other people's opinion, but I can't expect that same thing in return. But there was somebody that, I don't know how they ended up on my timeline. Either somebody liked their comment or retweeted it or something like that, but he brought up something that I found so interesting. It actually resonated so much with me, was that he went to TwitchCon. He got to meet all these people, and they ended up being friendly in person and talking. And they're like, yeah, we should work together. We should collaborate. We should do all of these things. And so you get that impression of like, awesome, this person, wants to, drive, get some work done together and do all these things, and you guys can help build each other up. But then when he went home, you do your thing, you send out those emails, or you follow the person on Twitter,
right.
Like, hey, it was great meeting you at TwitchCon. What kind of ideas can we think up? But he found that when he got back to that follow-up conversation back home, these people that he met in person that was so nice and friendly to him wouldn't even give him the time of the day, or straight up told him, I'm not really that interested, or I saw your numbers and you're not of, my level to work with.
Okay. So this is independent contractor to independent contractor. This is, Twitch personality, basically is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
And so I thought that was so interesting because I've gotten an impression for some people. And most people, you can tell it straight off the bat when you see them in person that like they really aren't that interested in it, into you or
how can you tell?
You're doing. It's just their body language. It's their body language and how you can tell how much attention somebody's paying to you or the conversation that you're having. It's kind of like that. It's more of what their body says rather than what they actually say.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Impression. What's that?
Because I've been listening to a lot of different Twitch streaming type shows, podcasts lately, and I guess I want to hear your thoughts because you've gone more than once of the vibe of why do people go? Like, if you're not on a panel, okay, this is just based on what I'm hearing, and I need you to like correct me and my perception of it right now. If you're not speaking on a panel, right, and you're not a vendor, right, and they're celebrating community of all the individuals who stream on the platform, right? Ideally, like looking at the con, that's what they're celebrating, right? And then at the same time, they do the keynotes and then they do the panels to allow the individuals who stream on the platform to stream better, right? So you have the keynote with the numbers, which is most stuff like that. Then you have celebrating the entire community of all the individuals who stream on the platform. Twitch specifically is what I'm talking about. Then you have the vendors that come in to showcase what they're coming out with or what they already have out. So why do you go?
Why do I go?
Yeah, like, and all that, whether, correct me if I said anything that's not true about what I perceive TwitchCon to be. Like, why are you going now?
For me, it's to see people.
Okay.
It's to see people.
Fair
to
enough.
Hang out.
Okay.
It's also, I feel like if there's certain, I guess, studios or developers, it's just kind of like a different feel as compared to going to, say, E3. E3, I feel is like super business in a way.
Okay.
They know why they're going there. Where TwitchCon, I feel it's a little bit more relaxed. It's a little bit more personal in a way.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they had certain things that were like based off of appointment only, but for a lot of it was like, yeah, come on by, like anytime that you can. Like it wasn't super like strict, like, oh, okay, so your appointment was this time, we have to slide it this way. Oh, we can't fit you in because we're overbooked with this.
Right.
It wasn't like that. And I like that aspect of it. I didn't go to any of the panels. I was very, like, if I had the time and I wasn't doing anything during that time, yeah, I'd go. There was a couple that I really wanted to just show support for the people I care about. But I also knew that I could watch those panels later on.
Right.
And it was just like the relationships I can put together. On top of that, there's a lot of people. I don't mind working with anybody, really. I don't mind collaborating with it. But if you got a great idea and I feel like I'm a fit and you're a fit, sure, we can work on whatever it is. I don't care if you have 1 follower or you have 1 million followers. It doesn't really matter. It's what we can create together. At the same time, I don't see it as a popularity contest, but the personality that somebody puts out, like we've discussed this before, personality that people put out can be different from what's in person.
Right.
And so the same thing can be said, like, off screen, like that person that they are in reality can also show up, behind the scenes. And me being able to meet that person, right in front of me and see if our personalities really will drive together, like, that's my deciding factor there too, if I want to continue on. Like, if I feel like there's something that we can't jive, if we can't jive offline, off stream, and work together like that because there's a difference in our personalities or our drives,
right,
then it's not going to show up well on screen.
Okay.
And I can openly tell somebody that, like, maybe I'm not the right fit for you or you're not the right fit for me, but I can list so many other people that are. That's what I find from being able to attend TwitchCon.
Word. Comments in the chat. Rue says, I think there is an elitism in the Twitch game streamer community more so than other type of content streamers. Agree? Disagree? What do you think?
Hey, 1 second. Hi, Dark Glass.
Dark, what's up, Dark?
On Twitch, and there's a lot of friendly back and forth. Lots of dual streams. I think, yeah, there is. 100% I agree with it, is that I don't know, like, I can semi-agree with the word elitism to it, but it's definitely a popularity contest. 100, that's what I call it, is just a popularity contest. Which is very, very high school, and I really, really dislike it. And really the only way that you can change that is just being yourself open to being able to work with people regardless of what their numbers are. So, like, the person I am now, like, if the way to change that, fully change that, is that when you get to that part where you are considered popular, to be humble and still work with anybody like you were when you were not popular.
Right.
Because that's not what it's about. I mean, just because you're popular doesn't... There's a lot of big time streamers that found the popularity based off of not necessarily having talent, but because they can be toxic. I don't think that makes them a good streamer. It just makes them because you're popular because you're a jerk. I'm not going to put any names to that one. You can fill in so many names with that one. And then there are those that create really great quality content that deserve that popularity or that name or fame, whatever it is that's attached to their name. I just wish that they didn't only just stick with, those who are on that same tier with them. I feel like when you reach that point, and there is somebody within, like, I got to meet her recently at TwitchCon. She, her name's Hugsy, and she just made partner the week before TwitchCon. It was such a huge thing for her, and she deserves it. She is awesome, and I absolutely love that woman. And she is a great model person, I would say. She's like, when I was talking to her, she's like, yeah, I made it. I made it as partner. I did, I paid my dues. I earned this. Now it's my turn to, give back and help other people and to get to my level. So she's like, I got there. Now I got to help those other people who helped me get here and are below me to bring them up with me. You should always be willing to bring people up with you.
That's dope.
So it's just weird. And it's like, it's such a rare thing for people to do that. And what drives me insane is you have these big streamers who are like always talking about like positivity and inclusive and all of these other great things, but they will not do something to help, quality smaller streamers get up there with them. Like, where's your positivity there?
It takes time to help people.
Yeah, well, when you get like 10,000 viewers in your channel, pretty sure you had a lot of time for that positivity.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. As I'm learning now with the changes that we've been making on Twitch. Me personally, I definitely want to talk to you about that as well. But before we get there, okay, there's been a lot going on with Astro. A lot.
Oh yeah, there have been.
A lot of stuff, okay? So the major announcement for Astro we'll talk about later as it relates to the controller. We'll touch on that a little bit later. But right now I definitely want to focus on the A40s, the X-Edition A40s that they sent over. They also sent the A10s, the Zelda edition, which Danielle is going to talk about once she receives that. So that's going to be a thing. So I remember, I don't know if I should, okay, I got to be careful if I want to tell this story or not. Hold on.
Okay.
We're doing this real time. This is live, so I can't edit. No, I can't tell the story. But okay, so
no,
I can't tell the story. So Astro has shown us a lot of love over the years. It's been fantastic. Whenever they send products, we usually, shout them out and say, hey, Astro sent this, and that kind of a thing. So this time around, they sent the A40s as well as the A10s, and we're going to talk about that. So I definitely want to spend some time on the A40s, which I believe I've talked about in the past. This is, the rebranding, the branding in celebration of the 10th anniversary of Astro, of the A40s themselves, right? So I'm going to touch on things that you're already familiar with if you've used A40s before. Is that fair?
Yep.
Listening, for those listening and those tuning in live. Okay, so one of the things I like about the A40s is that I could change the size of where the earphone goes, right? So you undo the what do you call that? The magnetic piece where the mic is held, and then you can switch the direction of where you want the mic. The branding I really like because it reminds me of the Chicago Bulls 90s team when they did the jersey with the red and black. I don't know why I remember that, but I think I had the jersey at that time. So that branding really spoke to me when I saw that. And I already had the TR mix amp, the white and red one. So I'm able to use that with the Astro A40. So let's talk about a couple of things. If you only have the headset, you have a stereo and voice chat. Okay. And the connection type is wired. If you have the mix amp Pro, you get Dolby, stereo, voice chat, game voice balancing, digital daisy chain. You get the optical input, which I'm using right now. You get the EQ modes to change out, the software support, the stream output, and it's also wired. One of the things I like about the setup right now is for me to hear Daniela right now, I have the on the microphone that I'm using right now, the aux cable is going from the mic to the mix amp. That's how I'm hearing Daniela, right? And then on the mix amp, I have the headset plugged in, and then I have the optical plugged in as well. And of course, the USB to power it up. I usually use it in PC mode, which is you hold the button down and it turns white on the mix amp for me to get the PC mode. Updated the drivers on the mix amp, because I haven't done that in a while. I also did the same thing for the A50s, and Astro did send that a while ago. But I've never updated the A50 drivers, so I just did that, yesterday. So overall, what's included in the box, you get the A40 TR headset, you get the microphone, you get the speaker tags, which for whatever reason I couldn't remember what that was. You get the PC, splitter, you also get the inline mute cable, and in terms of the ear cups, you can remove them and exchange them out, if they go bad, right? Let's see that. It's really magnetic in there. So you can take that out and change them out. And I think you can also do the same thing for the A40. It's a solid build headset. I made a mistake when I had the white A40s and I gave those up, and I kind of regret that. I really do. But overall, you have the certification for Discord. It's a solid build headset. I believe if I was getting into the headset game now and I had a budget of anywhere from $120 to $170, I would say I would consider the A40s. I recommended the A40s to a buddy of mine, last year, and I haven't heard any complaints from him. So that was a recommendation while I had the white ones that I gave up, that I regret giving up. And he's been happy with his A40s. Daniela, I don't know if you have an A40 in your home. If you do, let me hear some of that experience.
Of course I have the A40s. I've had A40s or a set of A40s 7 years now.
Word.
7 years. I think this is my second set. My first set lasted a really, really long time. My only reason why I ended up having to replace it was because I dropped it and I broke this band. But it wasn't like the first time I dropped it. It was probably like the 20th time that I seriously badly abused it, and it finally broke and I replaced it. But yeah, I mean, I can't really picture myself using any other headset. I know that sounds like really, it's kind of like that longtime friend that you've had. You know, it's just like, it's hard to want to get rid of or replace because you've had it for so long. I've tried other headsets. Yeah, sure. But I always come back to the A40s. I mean, they're very much a household of Astros. Cause my son, like, not last Christmas, I think it was the Christmas before, I got him his first set of A40s as well too. And he got the white set though. He got
Thanks.
the white set.
Thanks, Daniela.
He did. But I'm happy with it. I really am. I'm super happy. I didn't get to try out the only headsets I haven't gotten to try out from them were the A20s.
Those are dope.
So.
Those are dope. Yeah, I gave those up too. I think after a while, I think, I'm sorry. I just find things funny. I think after a while, I have to start giving the headsets away because it really gets bad in a good way here. That makes sense. Cause I can't wear all these headsets.
Oh.
I have to start giving them away. But yeah, at the same time, huh?
No, go ahead. Go ahead, finish.
No, cause at the same time, I'm like, okay, but I want them all. So how do I work that out? Like, there's a headset that I'll say this. There's headsets that I see coming out in the marketplace and I'm like, I just want them all because I know that they're going to be dope for me to use. So I'll just say that. But at the same time, you can't have them all. These are not Pokemons. All right. So I just.
To answer Ruru's question here, I just want headphones that fit my wide head without squeezing my ears and making it uncomfortable after 40 minutes. So,
so if you were doing Astros, so if you were doing Astros, I would say, what's your budget? If you don't care what you're spending, I would say, and you want wireless, I would say A50. And if you want a wired experience that you can plug into anything and then use it for PC, Mac, or Switch or anything like that, I would say do the A40s, $100 to $200. I would say do the A40s.
I mean, because you said, I don't, I'm just quoting you, your white head. I wouldn't suggest the A10s. I mean, the A10s are really good headphones and they're affordable, but, they're not as easily flexible as these. I mean, they're built to be very, very durable and almost indestructible, but they're not as open and flexible as this. And what's comfortable about this one is that, or the A40s in general, is that these are over the ear. So I don't know how big your ears are, but they do fit over my ear very, very nicely and very comfortably. I mean, I've done 24-hour streams and I don't have like headaches from pressure. I don't have ear aches from it putting pressure on my ears. So if that's a huge thing for you, don't get the A10s or the A20s.
Bluetooth? So you're looking for like a lifestyle headset, or you're looking for specifically gearing for your gaming headset? So
the wireless part, I don't think the wireless is Bluetooth, is it? Is the A50s Bluetooth? They're not, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think they're Bluetooth.
So yeah, we'd have to research your case there as it relates to what you're trying to do. A50 wireless headset plus base station, green, that's Xbox, PC, Mac, blue, that's PlayStation. So that is $299. So if you're looking for a gaming one that's Discord certified and you want wireless and you get the optical option on it, because I think it has the in out, it also has the PC slider or PlayStation 4 slider if you get the blue, or I'm sure Xbox slider if you get the green. That would be, I like using that for watching shows and stuff like that because of the Dolby and all that good stuff. But because I'm using the A40s now for this, whether I'm listening to the audio coming from the PC or the PlayStation or the optical coming from the TV, now I could designate the A50 for the PC if I wanted to. But I don't necessarily have to because I'm so close to everything right now. I have the choice of wanting to use the A50s or the A40s at this time. But if your budget is $100 to $200 and you're looking for a decent wireless headset that's Bluetooth, we're going to have to look at your case.
Yeah. The A50s aren't Bluetooth. They operate wireless on 5 gigahertz. Not Bluetooth though.
Yeah, but be based on the experience that Danielle has had with A40s and what I've had thus far with the previous model that I had, and this one being a new color that is celebrating their 10th anniversary of the headset. I love it in terms of the build. It's a quality build. I would say that if you're looking for a headset that is 3.5 millimeter, activated, if you want to say that, it's a solid headset for anything, whether you just listening to music with it, anything that you want to use. I think it's a well built thing. So I would say it's a A for me.
I want all the Astro things. We can talk about the other Astro things later.
Absolutely. So definitely good stuff there. Next thing we have is technology. A couple of things. Go ahead. What happened?
That was only the preamble.
Yeah, that was only the preamble, guys. We're about to wrap up the show. So yeah. All right. So we have, technology stuff. One of the things I did see was Cloudflare's, service. The 1.1.1.1 is now available for the mobile devices. I kind of like it and kind of don't at the same time, because when I tried to use it for Android, I was at the gas station. I was trying to access my banking site, and it seems like for whatever reason at that time, it was not allowing me to do that. And as soon as I took it off, I was able to access my banking site. I don't know what the situation was. It was the heavy snow day, for Long Island, which was 2 days ago, and everything melted really quickly. It was really bad, but it melted like the next day. So I don't know what that was. I'm not blaming it on the service. I need to check it out again and then try without all the heavy weather. I don't know if that played a part in it. Maybe not, but it wasn't working for me, and I needed access to my banking stuff at that time because I was making some transactions so I'd get some gas and move some stuff over, and I was getting irritated. So the fact that the service is available on the mobile stuff is great because it's a dope service, especially if you use it on your router, native on your router, the 1.1.1, I think, or the 1.1.0.1. I think that's the second one that they have for that DNS service that you can plug in, to your, router if you decide to do that, as well as, if you decide to use something like OpenDNS, which is what I've used for a very, very long time, native on the router. So it filters out all the foolishness and nonsense, from my network, that kind of a thing. Daniela, thoughts on that?
That's a lot going on. I don't actually use the service. I don't know too much.
Word. It's nice. If you go to 1.1.1.1, it gives you all the information if you decide to use it for, PC client specific, like, client A, let's say your machine, you want to run it there, or you can run it native on your entire network if you decide to put that on your router, that kind of a thing. So, it's pretty neat service. So that's what's going on with that. Okay. So,
Tell me about this. Tell me about your
So
change
I've been thinking a lot about, dual booting Windows again, right? And there's only one game that would make me go through the great lengths of the changes that I had to go through just to pick up this game for free while the time was limited, right? So Windows 7, I had that. I had to find it. I needed to do boot Elgato capture device. I had that somewhere. I tried to sell it like many times, and for whatever reason, nobody wanted to buy it. And I guess I could see why, because I guess I needed to use it again later on. But Destiny 2 was free. Okay. And apparently there was like earnings calls and stuff like that. People were saying they weren't satisfied with the way that the game was doing, but contextually speaking, the game has done phenomenally well according to the director. So the earnings call conversation was something completely different. I guess we're talking about a company, we're talking about a business that makes money and they're looking for a particular amount when you're not going to get the same growth when the game first came out with the excitement of something brand new with a second or third iteration of it. Maybe you will, maybe you won't, but you had some hiccups and stuff along the way, but that's besides the point. So Destiny 2 PC Battle.net was free until the 18th. Today's the 18th. I don't know if that was 18th as soon as 12 a.m. 18th or 11:59 p.m. before the 19th. But definitely check if you're listening to this live, if Destiny 2 is still free on PC. If you don't care about the game, that's fine. That's fine. But the thing is, the game is good. It's free forever. And if you decide that, hey, maybe I want to check this out, why not? Right? So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get the game for PC just in case I decide to play it on a PC. I tried to play it on my laptop. It was okay. I played it at 30 frames. But I do play it at 30 frames right now. But even at 30 frames and making some slight adjustments on the PC, Destiny 2 Battle.net, I mean, that game looks so good. Like almost to the point where I was almost trying to make the decision, like, do I want to grind to 600 with this new Kindergarten at 100 on the PC? I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I want to do that. But it's tempting now because I have the game on the PC platform. So, one of the things that happened with that whole thing, I was like, okay, so I have 2 drives in this laptop right now. So I have one running Ubuntu and one running Windows 7, right? Then I had somebody say, well, why you want to run Windows 7 at end of life? Well, Windows 7 is all I got right now. Okay. So if you have Windows 10 that you want to throw my way, that's fine. Throw Windows 10 my way. Then we can talk about what I want to run at end of life. Okay. So install all the updates and all that good stuff. That's here. And then, so now it's like, all right, let's boot up the laptop to choose either the Ubuntu drive or the Windows drive, right? I should have a menu for that. So I load up the thing and there was no menu. It would only go to Windows. So now I'm freaking out. I'm like, okay, I messed up. So I'm trying to figure out, how do I get the machine to recognize that there's 2 OSs on 2 drives and I need this menu system to pick the stuff. So now I'm going crazy on the internet. Okay. Mind you, my oil burner went out before I went to Mexico. That's another story, right? But anyway, so I had to find the software once I finally found it, and it worked perfectly. Use at your own risk, called Boot Repair. And Boot Repair, I was able to put that on a USB drive, and it had recommended thing that you just click and it does the thing for you. And I was able to get my menu back to see both drives. So I got Destiny 2 PC. Happy that I have it. It was free. I get to keep it forever on my Battle.net account. Windows 7 is installed. Elgato, I updated the drives on my old Elgato, I think the first HD unit, not the 60. And then that works perfectly with Windows 7. And I guess additional thoughts if they come. I'll stop there. Any thoughts on that?
No, keep going.
Okay. All right. So I installed the drivers on the Elgato device. I got the HDMIs running the way the HDMI is supposed to run. I found the HD cable that I needed, the USB cable that I needed to find to plug into the Windows 7 PC. I got Blue Screen of Death 1 or 2 times. One was a USB code. The other one was for something else. I updated some additional updates for Windows 7. Everything seems to be running fine right now. At the time of this recording, I'm using Windows 7 OBS to record the audio locally on my side. Danielle is doing the magic with the video production on her side. I'm using ATR 2100 that has built-in drivers. I'm using the A40s to listen through the output of the aux cable that's running to the TR mix amp. So far, everything seems to be working. Oh, the other thing I did, the Firefox browser was my second choice, and it should have been my first choice, because I noticed that the memory footprint that Google Chrome has, I guess generally speaking, is kind of crazy. And I noticed that the footprint that Firefox has is less. than the Google Chrome browser. Now, the only thing I need to figure out is how to import all my bookmarks from the Google Chrome browser to the Firefox browser. I'm sure it's something really simple, but I haven't figured it out yet. But right now I'm running everything on Firefox. I disabled the Internet Explorer 11, whatever it was. I disabled that. I still have Google Chrome installed because of all my bookmarks and stuff like that. There's some other changes that I need to make as well. I installed a Windows 7 Tweak exe. It's very, very small, very lightweight, so I can make adjustments on all the stuff that I want to disable and enhance as far as the network tweaks and stuff like that for the machine. Just so far so good. So far so good.
Ruru says that Linux is too much work and Chrome is sucking up 1.5 gigs these days. Chrome, I don't know if it's exactly 1.5 gigs, but I do say that it is very resource intensive as of, I want to say the last several months that I've actually been paying attention. It's always based off of how many tabs, like the more tabs you have open, the instances of Chrome, it's not, the scale to that is not very friendly at all whatsoever. And especially like when I'm doing and recording the podcast, having so many tabs open can eat up. But something that definitely eats up a lot of resources, and I discovered this yesterday, because I never really paid attention to how to problem with it, is Discord. I don't know what it is about their last, they've been rolling out these updates one after the one after the other. Yeah, when you have private video chats, 33% of my CPU usage.
Really?
33 to 35%. I was like absolutely amazed. Like, really? That much? That's a lot. Like, yeah, yesterday we're playing like community game nights of Rainbow Six Siege, and there were 5 of us, and we're all in a private video chat together because we wanted to have like all the cams up on there. It was hard. It was really, really hard to do. It was especially for the person who was trying to run it. And she has a really nice new PC that she like built to the T. It was really nice. Well, for me, I have an older 4770K. For my friend who was running the stream, and she was in the chat. She had a 97, I think, or is it? I forget what the number is, but it is one of the more current CPUs, and that was like really hindering her being able to play and stream. So like, there's a huge difference between my CPU and her CPU, but granted, hers is, she just built her PC so good. And it was still using up a lot of her CPU usage. And then you try to stream on top of that, it's terrible. And I don't think we've had that problem before. So that's definitely something in the Discord's latest updates for sure.
Yeah. So I haven't checked the Discord stuff. I'm definitely going to check that to see exactly how much it's running. Currently using the C922 for this recording. Usually I use the 4K one, which I'm using that when I'm streaming on my channel, right? So that's what I was saying to you earlier. I need additional USBs, cause I'm running out of USB ports right now, especially trying to change scenes and doing all those things, setting up the overlays and making sure OBS is running right, watching a whole bunch of videos just to get what the proper OBS settings should be for me and my machine and this setup here. So learning curve is just crazy right now. Yeah, and the oil burner, right? So that story is interesting because, when the guy came in May, he installed the wrong nozzle in the oil burner. And I found that out like just before we left for Mexico. And, so I had to get a new motor, and I had to use like insulated gloves to test out this 10,000 volt spark to see if it was active. So without the insulated screwdrivers and the gloves, I could pretty much like electrocute myself, that kind of a thing. But it was fun to go through that process, and thank you, YouTube. Thank God for YouTube, man. YouTube saved my life. So that's that.
Ruru says you don't need an oil burner, just run Prime 95 to heat your room.
Yeah. It's been an interesting last 2 weeks since you recorded. So I'll say that. So, Mu6 headphones. Mu6 headphones. Okay, so before we get to that, boot repair at your own risk. Please. Don't say, well, Uriah told me to use that, and I was going off of his recommendation. I will say that it worked perfectly for me, and I was using it at my own risk to get my menu back. Gparted is another one. If you're not careful with Gparted, you can wipe your drive, because Gparted is a great software to wipe drives. So really be careful with that at your own risk, please. Okay. So yeah, that's that. Mu6, headphones reactions. Danielle, I'll let you start with that.
For some crowd-funded headsets, these look super sleek and dope. And hey, Strip Trub, welcome.
What's up?
Nah, they are really, 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 really nice. So they're the Mu6 is smart noise canceling headphones. They have the hybrid active noise cancellation for immersive sound and experience, hearing optimization for tailoring sound to your ears only. They have this. Okay, this is what I think is really nice. I really like the headset charging stand that they have. It's just like the magnetic wireless charging stand, which is you see that a lot in the wireless Bluetooth headsets, the way they just kind of snap in and you know it's a secure, solid connection for the charging. Obviously uses the latest Bluetooth of 5.0 for their stable connectivity. They also have a smart touch and talk, which is like on the cup of the left ear for you to have your conversations and talk. And then you also have the auto pause and play, which this I think is really cool that it automatically pauses and when it senses that you took your headphones off. I was like, wow. And the thing that amazes me about this is that the fact that the Indiegogo, this crowdfunding is, their goal was originally only $20,000, which they exceeded
tremendously.
By tremendously by 5 times that. And if it really can deliver on all of those things, I think really honestly, like you're mentioning, Ruru, about a Bluetooth thing, if this is for a lifestyle thing, that's something that you want to use regularly, just in your daily life, I think maybe that these headphones would be something you can go and check out and consider.
Yep. Right in that range.
Look like it really is, because I think they have, what is it? Their first one is $149.
That's right.
I think it is currently on sale before it comes officially and out there. Yeah, because the estimated delivery is March 2019. So that if you jump on it, something that you're considering it, I think $149 is definitely a steal for a headset like this. I haven't been able to experience myself. That's why I'm saying if it delivers on that,
right,
that is a great price point to jump in on it. They look like they're very much over the ear, because the diameter, I don't have the sizes. I don't know what the exact measurements of it, but from the images that they have, they look like about the same size as these ear cups here.
Well, it's you're talking about drivers? It's 40mm drivers.
No, not necessarily the drivers, but just the size of the ear cups. If it's really over the ear, true over the ear, not resting on it. So it's something to consider, and I think they look really, really nice. Yeah.
You know what got me though?
What?
Is the video they have with the Bose noise cancellation performance test versus the Mu6 headset. That got me. That video where it showed, okay, we're going to test out the Bose, and this is the noise cancellation. And it's right on the Indiegogo page. You can watch the video where it shows that this is the Bose and this is ours. And within these frequencies, we perform, better than the Bose. And I know individuals be like, that can't be, because Bose are the best, right? That's great. But I think the video was very straightforward on what frequencies that Bose doesn't do well and this headset does. That's all I'm saying. So watch the video on the page and then you go from there. So aside from that, as you mentioned, the noise cancellation stuff, they have diagrams and all that stuff. They've done their due diligence to have all this information to show you how dope it is. And, like you said, we are hoping that it delivers on everything that it's saying. And for $149, I think that's, you can consider that one.
I think it's a really nice introductory price for that. I think after that initial launch, which is in March, I think it goes up to $249. So
get on that.
I mean, if your price point is between 100 and 200, That's right in there. It's like a nice sweet spot.
Get on it. All right. Any more thoughts on that?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So, this, particular character in Overwatch, Lucio, I did know that this character was a DJ of sorts. And apparently they have their own album that was released for free. I think it's 11 tracks. It is dope music. If you like the EDM / Ridge Racer, the later versions of Ridge Racer type of music, I think that's the vibe that I got from it. Definitely check that out. It's free. You can download 320 kilobytes per second version of it or 128. And I think there's 2 wave options, if I remember correctly, when I downloaded it from the website. Started listening to it already. It sounds really dope. I added it to my library and, hopefully just have some fun with that and different, instances. Danielle, any thoughts on that?
No, but I'm sure they probably sound really nice. His album will sound really nice on that Mu6.
That would be really dope. That would be dope. Make it happen. Hey, I want to take a quick second and tell you about ProXPN. ProXPN is one of our affiliates. It is an easy-to-use VPN service that secures your internet connection against eavesdropping, masks your location, and allows you to access your favorite sites no matter where you live or travel to. Now, I've been using ProXPN for a long time now. The service is really, really great. To get 20% off the lifetime of your account, visit theshowradio.info/ProXPN and use the promo code SHORAM. Now, for our other affiliates, definitely check out theshowradio.info/resources. Now, back to the show. Lord bless me. All right. So I don't know this situation, Daniela. I don't know if you've been following it really closely. So what's going on with this, Street Fighter situation?
Feel like I know. Okay, so I had to be educated on top of this. So I guess after the investigation about this alleged, I don't like that word alleged, but abuse of his ex-wife, they found out that it was all false, or it didn't happen. I think it was enough to tatter his reputation. He has I think initially he personally dropped from any of the tournaments for the rest of the year, but then Capcom just fully just absolutely 100% no, you're not going to be attending. His drop from Panda Global. I want to say
what does it take these days
I don't know,
to ruin a reputation? Does it take much?
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. But there's some people who can make a comeback, and it kind of sucks for somebody when have all these things come out, then they turn out to not be true, but you're still ruined from it. I feel like if you had the right marketing, the right manager, right publicist, I feel like, on some level, these pro gamers and stuff like that should have some type of publicist, I guess it would be. That's what they called, right? The ones that manage your image.
They should.
That's not it.
Yeah, they should.
Build it up.
But most of them don't. It seems like the team manager is the one trying to manage the image of the players. That's what it looks like to me. Again, perception. Right? If there isn't a person or team, dedicated to make sure that the image is what it should be for these players and organizations, then that's not going to happen, especially if they don't even know, with all the fame and all the super, success that they've had, and they may not necessarily have gotten the maturity to handle that. Then who's teaching them that?
I don't know.
I don't know either. So it falls on the team manager. It falls on their parents. If their parents are traveling with them, who does that? It falls on somebody. But at the end of the day, if they don't learn it quick, or they're not media trained in any way, shape, or form, they're going to suffer for that long term. So that situation was really interesting. But, you said you had some other things, as it related to the recent event in Atlanta. What's going on with that?
Other competitions that are happening. So I think today was a huge light being shown. Hi-Rez, I don't think they know what they're doing, period. And whatever it is that's happening with their game, Realm Royale, that game, they've made so many changes to it that I think their game is just dead. And I think they're fighting to bring it back. But it's just not happening. So at DreamHack Atlanta, they had a $25,000 tournament, which they didn't really actually announce. It was open to the people who are attending there. But like, since they didn't officially announce it, like once people found out that it was happening, it was already too late. But there were some like pros that were in attendance there that got in on it. But the entire tournament was an absolute mess. It was just like quick pop-up thing. I don't even think they put really much thought into how it was going to be run. There was like, there's a few competitive streamers. I believe it was Brian Kefri St. Pierre. He was there and he was tweeting out about the tournament, and there's photos that are being, posted up on Twitter from Mendo. They all compete. But looking at the photos, it's like the stations that they have didn't even look official. It looked like something that you would find out of somebody's like LAN party garage, with friends, the small tables. Right. Like the monitors were just like haphazardly up there. The players didn't have room for their keyboards. One of them was like, a lot of them had to play with the keyboard on their lap, which is really hard to do, to play with your keyboard on your lap and you have your mouse on your table, because you couldn't have two keyboards sitting side by side. Their monitors were just like, some of the monitors were set for 2K, some were just like 1080, different resolutions. So, it wasn't like a standard throughout all the players. And not only that, so the issue was that Kefri, he ended up, I hope I'm saying his name right. I always butchers people's name wrong. He was quickly eliminated in the qualifiers, I believe it was. And he realized that, so you have his monitor, and then you have the big screen in which everybody can actually watch the tournament and see what's happening. And it had the map about where the players were at, how many were live, and they were doing spot things so they can see, like, the player's point of view about whoever it is. But he realized that big screen that everybody can see was a 1-to-1, and there was no delay to it. So when you're playing, and there are some photos that were posted, when you're playing and if you're competing, you only had to look up just a little bit to see this giant screen above your monitor to see where the other players are at. He didn't want to claim that anybody was, I guess, cheating. Right. But there were some things that were kind of questionable, like, how'd you know it was in there, Right. And he brought it up to the staffing, high-res staffing that was there, and they just told him that they weren't going to change anything about it. They weren't going to make any adjustments. And the refs that he saw over there didn't even look like they knew what they were doing. Wow. They told him something along the lines of, like, if people are focusing on their game, they're not going to have time to go and look up at this giant monitor, this giant TV that is showing where all the players are at or what's happening like that, and that, they'll disqualify. So half of the players that were playing had this full clear shot 1-to-1 of, like, the players there. The other half, their back was facing it. So it's like, come on. Right. We all know that if you have that chance to peek, you could peek. That temptation, unless you're a really good, solid person, you're gonna peek. Even if it's just a little bit. Even if it's unintentional, it's gonna happen. Interesting. But Hi-Rez told Kefri that if he didn't stop tweeting about it, because he had such a huge following, and because people knew him in the chat and following on what he was saying and tweeting, like, they told him, if you don't stop tweeting about this, we're going to disqualify you. And sure enough, he's like, I'm not going to disqualify something that, like, I'm not going to stop talking about something that is wrong, about how you're running your tournament. And you know what? More power to him, because he shouldn't have, because it shouldn't be allowed that way. You want an equal playing field. That isn't fair. That isn't right. That's not how you write, especially when you have money on the line. $25,000. Like, you don't do that. And sure enough, he was disqualified. Him and his teammate were disqualified and gone. It was a mess. Wow. Okay. Well then, thanks for the follow, Average Gamer. Appreciate it. Appreciate the love. Fail marketing team, says Drew. That's interesting. That's interesting stuff. I didn't hear anything about it. I know a buddy of mine, she went, with, her fam, and, she was taking pictures and she was having a great time with what she was doing there. That's what's going on with that. An Arizona couple, have been ordered to pay Nintendo a whopping
12.23 million in damages for running a pair of sites which offered pirated ROMs. I think we briefly touched on that a while ago. Any thoughts on that?
What do you do with your life when you owe $12.23 million?
I don't know. You show some leg.
Like, do you?
I don't know. I don't know what you do.
I don't. Oh man, that hurts. Yeah, we did bring this up. I think it was a few months ago that I can't remember the name of the site, but yeah, they had to. It would be fined for every instance, right?
It's crazy.
That hurts. That's
yeah.
I don't know.
Let me see.
I don't know about that.
I'm trying to see if we can find the husband and wife team and the site names. LoveRoms.com.
I feel there's certain people that, yeah, sure, they have really disgusting alternative motives to being able to, you know, rip off current games, but the same, it's for older games.
Listen.
I don't know. I feel like to me, for older games, that's almost a gray area for me. I don't know. It should be.
It's
a bit steep.
It's a lot. LoveRoms.com and LoveRetro.co. Those are the websites that.
But I feel like they are going to definitely be made an example of.
Yeah.
Which it hurts because, yeah, there's a lot of sites. It wasn't just them who had sites like that. There's a lot of sites that offer game downloads and emulators of the sort. They're definitely going to be that example. Like, don't rip off our games. This could be you. So I can see a lot of them shutting down real quick or finding some other means, I don't know, in the dark web somewhere.
Right. I got a question for you, though.
What's that?
Because you've been a Gears fan for a while. It's a great game. It's a great game. Great series. I think somewhere around Gears Judgment, I was like, what am I doing?
I don't know. We don't talk about Judgment.
Why don't you talk about Judgment?
It's a terrible game.
It was very, I think Gears 4 I never played. Did you play that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the recent news I saw was, well, from what I understood, Cliffy B had that game that was like the Unreal Tournament type game, the last game that came out. And then, if I remember correctly, they did like a BMX Royale type situation. I think there was a bike in there somewhere with their Royale game.
There was.
Okay. All right. So I'm not going crazy.
I'm trying to remember the exact
I'm not going crazy. Okay. And then a recent tweet that was apparently deleted, according to what I've seen, is that, he has confirmed, Cliffy B, that he will never make another game. All right. How do you feel about that?
I'm okay with it.
You okay with that?
I mean, what? Okay. Cliffy B has made amazing games. He's an incredibly bright, creative man.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be sad if he never made another game because you know what? Since I can't remember the name of that game, why can't I remember the name of that damn Battle Royale?
The BMX Royale game?
Yeah,
I don't know what the game was.
Of it is, but that game and Lawbreakers, and no, it's not Lawbreakers. It's the Battle Royale game that he tried to quickly come up with,
right,
to make up for the loss of money that he made with Lawbreakers. Not Lawbreakers though. Maybe he reached his peak already. I feel like the other games, so after Boss
Radical Heights
shut down,
is that it?
There you go, Radical Heights. That's the one.
Okay.
After they shut down, like I feel the ideas that he posted about, because he tweeted out everything, all the ideas that he presented to other studios to have them be made, to try to save them. I feel like those would have been better investments because they look amazing. They look so much better than Lawbreakers and Radical Heights. And I felt like, man, if you could have brought those games into fruition and made those games happen, you'd be so much better off, because I think he had some great ideas there. And I think he just put his time and effort into 2 titles that sadly cost him, his employees and his studios a lot. But maybe at the same time, he's reached his peak. Maybe it's time and he's better suited for being a consultant. Maybe I don't feel that I would be more heartbroken if Hideo Kojima said he will never make another game.
Okay.
Like I cannot picture my my gaming world to lack Hideo's creativity and idea. But I can do without Cliff Bleszinski.
Okay.
I don't feel like I'm missing out at the same time. I feel like I love the Gear series. I do. But they're also okay without him.
I appreciate what he's done, right? Thus far. I believe that he should still contribute in some way, shape, or form to projects. I think never is a long time. That's really my thing. When I saw that, I was just like, the Gears guy? Never? So that was my thing with it. FPS fans on PC and Xbox doesn't want to give him money. His public image is just terrible, chat says.
Because he's always been so full of himself, but I never really judged him based off of that. It's just more of like, well, you added value and you didn't add value at the same time.
Right.
And I don't know what you've done in the last 4 years.
Right.
That I'd be impressed, or I'd notice that you're not making any more games.
Right. I guess in his defense, well, it was a while ago when I met him, I thought he was a cool guy. That's all I have there.
In person, I'm sure he's a great guy. It's just the photos that he posts. He's just a little bit full of himself. That's all.
Yeah.
But, and that depends on that too. I mean, if you worked really hard and you got yourself somewhere and you have all of these great toys and things that you can buy yourself with this fame that you got, yeah, you're gonna want to show it off.
Word. The George Lucas of video games did some good things, but maybe better to leave it to some other folks now?
I wouldn't call him the George Lucas of video games.
He did his thing,
That's
though.
Hideo Kojima, okay? That's Hideo Kojima. He is the George Lucas.
He did his thing. He did his thing. But one thing I definitely want to say while we're recording episode 476 of the show, definitely check out theshowradio.info/listen to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Also, later on, before we get out of here, we're definitely going to say what we're thankful for, because this is Thanksgiving week for those who celebrate it. So definitely want to mention some of those things, as well as ask us anything before we leave. I think that's a new segment that seems to be exciting, because we have no idea what you're going to ask. And we're somewhat excited about that at the same time. So if you do have questions that you're thinking about that you wanted to ask, if you don't do it here while we're live, you can definitely do that in our Discord, theshowradio.info/Discord. Check us out there. So yeah, the Metal Gear guy, the legend, Hideo, amazing stuff. I'm even thinking about, if I can, using the capture card, the Elgato, to plug the PlayStation back in to go through some of the Metal Gear stuff, which just to look at it, not even to really play the game, just to roam and see the awesomeness that is a Metal Gear. Maybe one more time. That requires me to plug in the PlayStation 3. I gotta dig for that. George Lucas is worth $6 billion? Sheesh.
I don't know if that's fact, but I would believe it at the same time.
That's insane.
Like, I would believe that number.
That's insane. Emotes, Daniela. Emotes. Rapper 2 Milli wants to pursue legal action against Fortnite developer publisher Epic Games over the inclusion of the Swipe It emote. Daniela, you've played this game way more than I have. What's going on with that?
Yeah, I'm gonna find it so funny if a whole bunch of rappers go after this, because, I mean, can you copyright your dance move?
I don't know.
I feel like you can, because if somebody copyrighted, yeah, I mean, why not? Somebody copyrighted Happy
Did the
Birthday
Carlton copyright the dance, the Carlton dance? I don't think so. Did he? Did they put that in an emote?
Yeah. That was the first emote I bought.
Really?
The Carlton, yeah, it was.
They have that? Seriously?
Yes.
That's insane. Oh, okay. Didn't know that. That
first
is
emote I bought.
Okay.
I cannot. That's like my favorite emote.
So do you think they're going to give them money for that?
I don't know if they would. I don't know if they would give them money for it, but I think it's a good thing to put some light on and to show, because they deserve something for it. I think it would also make developers and publishers a little bit more aware.
Okay.
To be honest, I don't know if you would actually he'd actually win it. I think maybe they'll probably come to some settlement where they'll be like, you know what, here's like $2 million to pay you for your woes.
Right.
Just so that it doesn't continue on, because I don't know. It's like,
I don't know either.
Dance move.
I don't know either.
But I think he was the first one that complained about it, right? That started all this issue.
From what I recall seeing. Yeah.
So
that made news.
That's something to follow along with. That says copyright laws doesn't apply to dance moves, but you can copyright dance routines. But he didn't initially, did he?
Michael Jackson Thriller. I don't know. It's a very interesting one. All right, but so I don't know what to do with that one. I think that's the second time I've seen this mentioned prior to the last, week and a half or so, because it was mentioned in tweets and conversations prior to this and stuff like that, but it's interesting. Destiny 2, we kind of talked about earlier, which I won't spend a lot of time talking about Destiny here per se, but I do want to say that the triple XP, what they call it, Valor, is going on this weekend right now. It's gonna end probably by Monday. Hopefully it's not 12 a.m. my time it ends, because I wanted to get some triple Valor in today. One of the things that they did announce in the recent update for Destiny is that they're going to buff Gambit, or the ability for people who are lagging behind to actually catch up and win. The overturning of those matches are going to be buffed. So they go into a whole conversation about that on the post. And PlayStation sold over 86.1 million units. Any comments on those things?
I'm still jelly that I'm still seeing people who have are just receiving or getting or bought off that limited edition, the numbered one, the 50,000 numbered whatever it is. I just saw somebody post about it in Unboxers. That thing looks so nice.
Oh man, that is a thing. 86.1 million.
Free Overwatch from November 20th to 26th.
What?
Yeah, free Overwatch.
Free Overwatch what?
Like free to play for the weekend, kind of like how some they did the free weekend. I don't think it's free to keep. It's just free to play for a bit.
Yeah, because that game is still making bank. Free Overwatch. Is it? If it's free, I'll pick it up on PC.
I would hate if it was free to play forever. No, it's just
interesting. Interesting things going on with that. All right, so Destiny 2, PlayStation, 86.1 million. PlayStation will not be at E3, but Microsoft and Nintendo will. Daniela.
That was really actually shocking to me. So I was a little bit shocked when they canceled their PlayStation experience, right? So I thought, all right, cool. Maybe they're just setting up for some really big thing and showcase at E3. And now the fact that they canceled and will not be at E3, this is like the first time in 24 years that they're just not going to be there.
Right.
And I'm like, what's happening over there, Sony?
What would they show if they showed up at E3 this year?
PlayStation 5?
No. No. They're not showing that.
PlayStation 5, Resident Evil. No, not Resident Evil. Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
And that's the situation, right? And that's really the situation right now. What is it after the experience that they showed with the different acts on the,
okay, that was weird. That was weird.
Right. After that, what do they have that we're really hyped about, with the exception of, Hideo's game? What do they have?
It's
right.
For me, it's not what they have that I'm hyped for. I'm hyped for the things I don't know about.
That's fine. Well, you know about some stuff related to PlayStation and not so much things related to PlayStation, but they still have to bring it to hype level, right?
You think taking a year off?
I think a year off is always great. Call of Duty did it for the 3 studio thing that they did when Call of Duty wasn't performing where it was supposed to be. Like, studios started taking turns. Why is this different?
It's an interesting statement from Ruru. We will probably get a release date announcement for Death Stranding at Video Game Awards next month. That'd be very interesting if they did that.
Yeah,
but
or something.
I don't know. I thought that was super shocking to me. I guess if they come back, then like, when are we going to hear something from PlayStation again? Would that, like, will they have the PlayStation experience in 2019? Or do we have to wait to E3 2020?
I would say that you're probably looking at, according to announcement stuff, you're looking at a year out. So there's whatever's skipping happening in 2019 to regroup for product readjustments, realignments. That makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. You hold out for the next big thing. And the next big thing, as you said, is not PSVR. It's just not. I mean, that's dope, you know, but it's, what did it sell? 2 point something million? Barely 3 million? Something like that, right? For the PlayStation VR. So it's not that. So you're taking, so what's happening now is a lot of the companies, whether it's the Sonys of whatever company that you want to name, they're using platforms to make announcements. And that's making it easier to get their message out. Because if you notice, Sean Layden has been making a lot of the announcements on the podcast. And what is that costing them? I don't know how much it costs to run, the pod. But what is that really costing them to make that announcement where everybody's going to get to hear it and then all the news outlets are going to share it? What were you going to say?
It's, I don't know. This next coming year, I feel like there is, even though without their announcement, even though they're going to be missing, there's still some pretty big things that are kind of happening, not more so adding to the PlayStation family as it is taking away, because I think it's March that they're ending support for the Vita. They're ending production or whatever of the Vita. Right. They're ending the PlayStation Plus support for Vita and PS3. They're removing more than they're actually putting back to replace it.
Right.
And what I mean by replacing it, I'm not meaning like new hardware or anything like that. But like when you take away parts of income.
Right.
What do you have to replace that income with?
You may not necessarily want to replace it. You may just want to streamline your product line overall. And I mean, the thing is, I don't think it's any different because we're so passionate about, you know, the industry and the products that we are enjoying in this particular industry, not you or me per se, according to the conversation that we're having right now. But I think sometimes we get lost in the sauce, if you will, as far as that these are businesses that are making adjustments, to focus on particular products that are doing better than others. Right. And I think that because we love PlayStation, because we love the brands and the individuals that are associated with some of the biggest things that we play or enjoy, you know, as far as the tech is concerned, we forget that these are businesses. So when they say stuff like earning calls and fiscal years and anything that relates to business and marketing and all those things, we're like, well, we don't want that. We just want the games. Well, they're businesses. Some people just forget that. I don't know why, but you got to do what you got to do. The phones, I don't think are doing well for PlayStation. The Sony phones. I don't know what they're doing with that. Like, there's a lot of things that they're making adjustments to. And like just, Ru, I think mentioned the thing about Mexico City when Microsoft just did the thing there. I think it was Microsoft, right? That just did that Mexico thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. The XR, I can't remember how they, the abbreviation for that thing is at this time, but changes are being made to maximize the dollars that you're, keeping and putting out. And sometimes the best way to get the message out is on an MP3 file that's not going to cost you barely anything. And everybody gets to hear it. That's just how I look at it though.
No, I get it. I'm kind of sad about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sad because we love it. We've invested many years into this thing that we love. And at the same time, this thing that we love has brought finance in to our pockets, right? Through the outlets that we've used to, share the things that we love, you know, whether through that's, you know, affiliate programs or different things that we've had, you know, our hands on that has benefited us in some way, shape or form, or people donating to the cause that we believe in as it relates to the games that we're playing, right? So everybody has benefited in some way, shape or form, even if it's just sending us stuff to talk about and we're not paying a dime for these things. And we're not. Most of the stuff we're not at all. They're just sending them and they're paying shipping for that. And we're getting them and we're talking about it because we love it and all that because of the platform that we have, to talk about those things. So everybody is getting a benefit in some way, shape, or form. And if you say you're not getting a benefit, you're lying. That's it. That could
straight out call him. You're lying.
You're lying. You're lying. You're lying. Because everybody's benefiting in some way, shape, or form. Now, when the companies decide to, like, even when we were talking about the Cliffy B stuff, you know, shutting down to pivot into other directions, it's sad because we've seen the history of, right, his work and the masterpieces that he's created that we've enjoyed over the years, right? Because even back in, if I remember correctly, Gears was like a suspense thriller, right? First Gears. To me, I don't know what it became after that. It wasn't a suspense thriller. I was scared playing the first Gears.
Really?
Dude, it was a suspense thriller for me. It was like almost like a horror type flick. It changed though. It changed it to something else. Yeah, definitely a bro shooter. I agree. But to me, the first one was dark and they went away from that. To me, they went away from that. But yeah, that's what's going on with all that stuff. Digital only, I think that's where we're at. Digital only Xbox for 2019. I think that's interesting. Another thing that they're adding to their lineup, right? If they decide to do that. And the price entry for that is the same thing that I saw Astro do with the A10s and A20s, and the 30 was already there. The 38 was there, but the 38 got away. The 40 is still here, and the 50 is still here. So you added products in your line to meet a price point that you didn't have, that you need to have. Thoughts on that?
As long as it's an optional thing.
Okay.
As long as it's like a different tier. If they have a model that allows for also physical copies as well, all right, cool. Digital only?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm really cool with that. Only because, like, yeah, it's great for those who, you know, they want a cheaper model, but,
yeah,
okay, so like Rue says, like, the internet isn't ready for that. At least, like, not everybody has great download speeds. They're gonna suffer for you. Like, yeah, you save, like, half the price of your normal Xbox One system with the digital or physical copy and the disc, inserts. But if you live in one of those areas in which your internet struggles, you have data caps, you have all of these issues to worry about, I don't think that's going to be out.
Word.
But I mean, if they're going to do away with manufacturing the normal systems that we have out now and just only focus on digital only going forward, I can't support that. I can't get behind that whatsoever.
You like collectibles?
Yeah, I do.
I know you do.
I like having physical copies. I
know you do. There's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, I don't have room for it either.
All right. I like the fact that I can download this stuff, and I don't have to worry about the disc. I really enjoyed, well, I don't know if it's the same comparison. Like putting an image on a USB, I've loved that because I didn't necessarily need to have that's the ISO image on the USB. Yeah, I get it. But I really started embracing the fact that I didn't necessarily need a picture, with the box and the stuff like that, even though I kept some of the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 stuff. So it's a toss up for me. But even now, like when they were sending, you know, certain titles to us, they were all digital, and I was okay with that. Most of them were digital, I'll say.
Yeah, most of them. The thing, Dark Loud says, the thing is, the physical copy doesn't really have the game on it anymore. It's just activation for your account, giving you access to downloading the game for PS4 and Xbox One at least.
I'm okay with that. With the digital. The only thing for me now is trying to decide how big of a SSD that I want outside of the unit to run the games, so the loading times are cut down significantly, right? Outside of that, I'm alright with that. Like we did the upgrade for the PlayStation here. I think I put a 2 terabyte in there, but it was a spinning drive 2 terabyte. So I was like, alright, a buddy of mine sent me the SSD. So I'm running the SSD on the 1 or 2 games that I play with on a regular basis. And I'm alright with that right now.
Kind of weird how my Xbox just suddenly turns on by itself. Like, oh, you're talking about me.
That's what's going on right there. So, price point adding to the lineup to capture an audience that really don't care about disc per se. Can technically do well. I believe it will because, I am not seeing the obligatory Instagram post of somebody taking a picture of a game case unless it's a collectible, like a legendary super duper collectible unit, right? That's like 150 plus. I'm not seeing those, hey, this company just sent me a game IG picture anymore. I'm just seeing people doing a screenshot of whatever game that they're downloading that the company just sent to them for review, or a collectible of, just Mass Effect as an example, collectible edition, or, Call of Duty super care package edition. Or so I see pictures of those things, more so than I do the plastic cases or the steel cases, steel book cases and stuff.
I also think that's just more cost effective. I mean, yeah, people are getting the huge limited edition collector's item, blah, blah, blahs and getting those, but there's less of those that they're sending out and more of the standard digital copy. Like, it's just not cost effective to send every news and media outlet and mail out, I don't know how many hundreds of hundreds of discs for those reviews when they're like, here's a code.
Right.
I'm absolutely sure that's probably just cheaper to send out those select people who get the collector's edition compared to, I don't know how many codes that they get.
Yeah.
I got a code right now that I gotta go download from my PlayStation.
Do it.
For review.
Do it. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. So that's what's going on with that, stuff. We talked about the A10s, which, Daniela is going to, look at a later date. So definitely thank you, Astro, for that. And last but not least, I think we're there, right? Last but not least, Daniela, you take this first. Cause
I take this one?
Yes, this shocked me. I got shock waves in my system when I saw this one. You can definitely start on this one.
So Astro is coming out. So we all know Astros for their headsets, but we do not know them. But soon we will know them for their controller.
Jesus.
So they're coming out with the C40 TR. One of these days, I feel like I want to ask them what these letters stand for.
Controller 40?
Is that it? So what about A40s? What does the A stand for?
I don't know. You got me there.
But,
Astro?
Yeah, I should really ask them. Well, they're already called Astro A40s.
True.
So if the A stands for Astro, then the C stands for?
Controller.
Audio? Oh, maybe that's right. So Douglas, Audio 40.
That's
Man,
interesting.
It's a little bit boring. Okay, you took away the mystery of it all.
Darn.
I want to just go back to what does A stand for? But anyways, they came out with the C40s. This is pretty sick. So I gotta mess around with it a little bit. I gotta play with it for a little bit. And, gonna be my new favorite controller one day.
Oh my gosh, this thing.
It really, really is gonna be my new. So they spent, I don't know how many long, but I'm sure they spent a lot of time in development of this. They had a lot of consideration, into putting this controller and making this controller happen. It's currently only available for PS4 and PC, but I'm sure possibly in the future I cannot see them not catering to the Xbox players. I mean, it doesn't make any sense for them. So what makes this one so much special? What does it offer compared to what's out there already? So just to start off with, that front faceplate of this controller is actually, you can come apart and you can actually change the configuration of the joysticks. You either can have the parallel joysticks or the offset joysticks, depending on how you like to play, whether it's a PlayStation layout or the Xbox layout. And it feels good. Even the directional pad, you can change it from the D-pad into, I believe, I don't remember what
the circular steam looking thing?
The circular pad. It's definitely very advantageous for those who play a lot of fighter games. If you don't use a fight stick and you use a controller for that, that is a huge thing for you to be able to go out and change. On top of that, much like their A40, A50 headsets, it does have its own software GUI for you to configure all of your buttons. Not only just like kind of change the bindings of what's happening to it, but you also have the ability to change the sensitivity and the travel and the dead space saved onto the profile of your controller.
Crazy.
It super is. And it has 2 different profiles that you can actually change on the controller itself. So if you play a lot of shooters and say you have one profile that's set for like if you cater to ARs and SMGs, but if you happen to pick up a sniper rifle, you can actually switch your profile on the fly to those settings and the sensitivity that you would normally actually play right there without having to go back into, your settings or anything like that. There are trigger stops to, the trigger stops here. Here's the interesting, this is what I thought was really cool. So there's a little, tab so you can either adjust where your trigger stops and ends. But on top of that, you can also adjust that sensitivity and where it actually activates within the software itself too.
Oh my gosh, man.
There's also a couple buttons on the back side of it. If you want to program that to have its own motion, however way your play style is. And just the feel of it, I think this is what's great. I don't have the biggest hands, but and I generally do like the size and the shape of the PlayStation controller. But this one, it is a bigger controller for those that have bigger hands, but it's not like the original Xbox huge Duke controller that it was just abnormally huge, but it's a nice balance in between that it just feels really natural in your hand.
Bigger than this?
Yeah, it's a little bit bigger than that. Okay. But it just feels like it just molds into your hand so well.
Okay.
I think right now, I saw a lot of people when this was announced, they were complaining about the price tag, which we brought up is $200. That is a very steep price tag, but I believe that the core audience that they are going towards is definitely for those competitive type. This is why it says it's tournament ready. Right. If you are actively in tournaments, you're actively practicing, you will notice that you will, like a lot of these competitive players will go through a controller every 2 to 3 months. You don't believe that, but like, it really does happen. They have to deal with like the drift in their joysticks, triggers, end up just like going dead. There's always a lot of problems. So if you're spending $60 to $70, $80 every 3 months because your joystick has like this drift and you can't correct it because, you can't really send it in for repairs or it's just not cost effective for you to send in repairs. You can't really do it yourself. That $200 makes sense because you can actually, like their headsets, buy mod kits to replace those joysticks, that D-pad. And it's more cost effective to be able, like the fact that you can take off that front faceplate to do any cleaning in there, change those joysticks, it just makes sense. I mean, it's catered towards those players. I wouldn't say if you are average Joe who just plays Red Dead Redemption, it's not gonna, this isn't for you unless you're just the type of person who likes to have the newest, coolest thing that's out there. On top of that, the input for the charge cable, I don't know if you can notice it, but inside the video that they have for it, it's seated into the controller. This is actually a huge benefit for those who, they end up, standing up in frustration or excitement. You'll notice that if you're charging your, Dark Glass, that's for me. All I play is Spyro. You'll notice that a lot of the weight from when you charge, I'll bring out my PlayStation controller right now since it's like a lot of the weight is right there on the connector itself. So they purposely have it seated into there so that the weight isn't on the connector here, the contact ports. It's actually on this part here. So you're not going to have any breakage from your contact ports. You're not going to have any breakage from your actual charge port on your controller, because all of the stress is on the deep-seated part and on top of the outer part, the thickest part of the cable, which I actually have that. I'm not even a competitive player. I have that problem with both my PlayStation and my Xbox controllers, where eventually that contact right there, because of the weight, because of having to repeatedly either
it bends, right?
It bends. It has an issue there. So they have that in mind as well too.
Nice.
But I think it's definitely a huge game changer, to the market, to the competitive players. Like I said, I really hope they learn to cater to, or are able to cater to. I don't think they're learning to, but I think, they'll be able to open up the market to Xbox players. Hopefully. Let's see, what else? What else did I learned from all of this? It just feels nice. But when I raised for the controller at my TV, which we were likely to break, I would say the TV.
Wow.
I would. It does come with, a nice carrying case. It was nice and sturdy. I believe, it's the same type of material and build as their headset case has. It comes with a tool to take off the front plate. I think that's it. I think that's majority of like what I learned and I took away from it. It was great to play with. It was a lot of fun.
Well, I have nothing there except I'm drooling, and you did a fantastic job talking about the C40. And, yeah, I saw the video and I was drooling. That's all I got.
There is one thing. So, there is a switch on there that actually can change it from the wired to the wireless.
Oh man, that's dope.
And they have, yeah, it's like everything on there is like a little simple switch that happens instantaneously. It's like just all done on the fly there.
With the onboard mode switch, quickly change between wired and 2.4 gig wireless mode to adapt to any gaming environment. Game, sound, and voice chat are available using the 3.5 millimeter jack in both modes. Man.
Oh, speaking of which, okay, so for PlayStation side of it, the PlayStation, when you're hooking it up to there, you know how there's some games in which the audio comes through your controller?
Yes.
But you can't necessarily turn it off from your PlayStation. It's kind of always just there.
Yes.
Yeah. The option is there inside the control window GUI to just turn off all that sound. You also have a way when it comes to party chat of prioritizing, audio. Nice.
Changing the game over here.
They are. And, you know, like that competition brews creativity. So, you know, if, you know, Astro's coming out here, they're stepping up the game. That just means that everybody else who's in the controller market, they got to step up their game too and, you know, match it.
Does it feel like cheap plastic or robust? How does it feel? Cheap
really
plastic?
Robust. It doesn't feel like cheap plastic whatsoever.
Nice.
The material, I can't explain. If you have the
like
texture, the softness and durability.
Matte finish type?
It is a matte. It's a matte finish. It's very similar to all other products about if you have the mix amp for the A40s. So the A40s, the mix amp has a glossy finish top, but that bottom portion is a very nice, thick, like velvety matte material.
Yeah. That's what it is? Hold on. Let me touch my TRs over here. Sounds really weird, but just give me
But it's
intense.
definitely very durable. It's very durable. It's very soft. My only concern with that one, okay? Let me touch my mix amp real quick. My only concern with that is, it is durable. I don't think it's gonna break. I don't think it's anything that's gonna like fall on your hands. Is the longevity of that material, of how well it does with people who get really clammy, sweaty hands. Okay. So if I had to say that there's a concern for me, it would be that. Is that how does that soft texture, that coating that they put over it, last, and is how durable it would be for those. Because this feels great. But how does it handle if you just suffer from sweaty, clammy hands?
Well, you can use you can use like some kind of like antiperspirant lotion or something.
Yeah, I think they have something. I think it's called Gamer Goo.
Yeah. I got the Amazon one actually too. Cause I was running out of Gamer Goo. So I was like, you know what, Amazon, I know you have a product that's going to do the same thing, and they do. And I picked it up.
But I loved it. I can't wait to have it back in my hands again.
Yeah, I need that in my life. All the things.
So.
Word.
That's my experience with it.
That sounds amazing. That sounds really amazing. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk about that, Daniela. Okay, so this is the part where we're beginning to close out the show. People in the chats. This is the part where you can participate even more. AMAs.
Ask us any questions that you have.
Word. What do you want to know about the show? What we're up to, that kind of thing. This is the time. This is your moment. This is the segment that we added for that. And if you don't have any questions, feel free to just hit up the Discord, theshowradio.info/Discord. I will send you an invite in there and you can hang out with us and you know when we go live, whether I go live, Daniela goes live, or the show goes live. That announces in the Discord as well. So that's it. That's where we're at right now in the show. And then we're going to talk about Thanksgiving stuff and then we will begin wrapping up. And that is where we are. So, word. Daniela.
Do you follow PC gaming news?
Daniela?
Yes, we do. But really, I think a lot of our topics are catered to like immediate interest because there's obviously so much more news and updates and everything that happens. I mean, even this past weekend, you had Fantasy 14's Fan Fest, and they announced a lot of different things there. But if we talked about every single piece of news that happened, even if it's just for the week, we'd be here for a really, really, really long time.
Absolutely.
Because I think we had possibly maybe less than 30 topics to talk about, and we still had a 2.5 hour show.
Yeah. And that's geared specifically because of things we're passionate about and things that I believe that we're going to spend time talking about, and that's going to benefit us to learn from each other as well as you in the chat and those listening on the podcast as well. So I purposefully pick certain topics for the show, obviously intentional. PC news, although there's certain things that caught our eye, as far as the BattleNet stuff, right? With Destiny specifically, that made me come back to Windows in a sense of installing Windows 7 for me to access certain things, which made my stream even a little bit better in terms of its presentation and stuff like that. So it would have to be something that we can speak to freely, and it doesn't seem like we're pushing a topic because it's fluff because we don't have anything to talk about.
We did not talk about the Final Fantasy 15 director leaving the company and everything that's happening over there. There's a lot of changes. For me, I know of it, but I haven't really looked deep into the news and what that means overall. I know that there was some DLC content that was canceled, but as much as a Final Fantasy fan as I am, I didn't have enough to add actually any valuable input on it, sadly.
Word.
I don't even think I've gotten past, I don't even know where I'm at in Final Fantasy. I think I have 3 hours into the game. I liked it. I don't have anything problem with it. It's just, I have somebody.
Yeah, you do.
So there's a lot going on there.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys, from the chats? Still working through Daredevil, that kind of thing. Movie trailers of last week, Pokemon, and Toy Story 4 opinions. Daniela.
Pika Pika. Pikachu. I am actually really kind of hyped for the Detective Pikachu. It does look a little bit weird. I think it could have been done way worse, these film adaptations, especially for fictional animals, can be done very, very weirdly. And this trailer, you know what? I'm looking forward to it. But there are certain things that weird me out, like Jigglypuff. Why is he so furry? I don't know what I thought Jigglypuff, what kind of animal he would be, but right. I just didn't think he would be so furry. I'm very pleasantly happy with the way that Pikachu looks like. Because I was never super into Pokemon. I want to see this Pokemon movie. I very, very much do. It's funny because when I thought of Detective Pikachu and when that was originally announced, and then it was announced that Ryan Reynolds was going to be a part of it, I kind of didn't want to fully immerse myself into the news and everything on it. I wanted to be surprised for it.
Right.
But Apparently I missed the part where Ryan Reynolds was going to be voicing Pikachu. So when I watched the trailer, I was like, this is so weird. But I like it. Like, but Ryan Reynolds? He's never, like, okay, aside from Deadpool, like, Ryan Reynolds from, like, Waiting, what is that college movie? National Lampoon's, Van Wilder's, something.
Mm.
He's never had a kid-friendly mouth. And he's playing Pikachu.
I love it.
I still think they should have cast Danny DeVito for Detective Pikachu in place of the guy that I guess Pikachu's going to be working with. Maybe? I don't know. But I'm going to watch it and I'm excited for it. As the voice of Pikachu.
Yeah.
Okay, actually I could actually picture that one. I could. I'll admit I haven't watched a Toy Story 4 trailer yet.
I haven't, but the fact that it's Toy Story, I'm already interested because I love those movies. Pikachu, the Pokemon stuff, I love Pikachu, the actual cartoon. So, I will wait and see once it comes to digital for me to watch it at home. I'll probably want to do a movie theater for that.
I think I will. I think I'll go to the movie theater for it. I liked it. I liked how they made Mr. Mime. Psyduck I thought was really hilarious. Andrew just doesn't want to be seen watching it.
Maybe that's true.
Maybe. I'll be watching it. You know what you should watch is Bohemian Rhapsody is actually really, really good.
Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yep.
Okay, I don't even know
the
what
one
that
about
is.
Freddie Mercury. I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that.
Okay, we're gonna pretend right now.
Queen. It's about the band Queen.
Oh yeah, you told me about that. You did tell me about that. Yeah. You did tell me about that. My bad. Yeah.
Yeah. That was really good. I would have watched Fantastic Beasts 2 last night, but Gutter hasn't watched the first one, so we're gonna watch the first one and then we'll watch the second one. I did get the posters though. They gave me the posters for the Fantastic Beasts 2. They gave me all 4 and I was super excited for that. I may watch Transformer movie for once because Bumblebee got the chick from True Grit and Pitch Perfect. It was
Mission Impossible was good.
That Bumblebee movie actually looked pretty good.
Yeah, Mission Impossible was dope. If you guys haven't seen the new one, I enjoyed it. I need to check out the Equalizer movies. I didn't see the first or second one, so I need to dig into those. But there's Daredevil that still needs to be finished too, and then House of Cards, and then there's a couple of things that's happening.
Oh, I have no doubts that Fantastic Beasts 2 is good. Hopefully I can watch it next week with my sister.
Word.
I'm finding more things to do with my sister. I gotta spend more time with her. Equalizer 1 was good, 2 was boring.
Word.
It gives me hope that they may venture to more locations in the other movies. Oh, I hope so.
Word. We'll take 3 more. If you got 3 more questions, we'll take 3 more and then we'll begin wrapping up. Talk about Thanksgiving. If you got 3 more, we'll take those, guys. What's on your mind? Yeah, I probably don't want to be seen watching. Maybe that's true. I'm very picky about movies when it comes to doing a movie theater thing. The last one was what, Black Panther for me, I think? That was the last one.
Yeah, I think it was.
Before that was, I can't even tell you. That was a minute. 1440p. Beast from Japan, China, so it'd be nice. I was fun to see Paris, Diagon Alley, and Ministry of Magic. Those are bands?
No, they're from Harry Potter's world. Diagon Alley is.
Okay.
It's all from Harry Potter.
See, shows you how much I know about that stuff. The Ministry of Magic sounds like a band to me.
They would all make really great bands.
That's what I'm saying.
You and I should start up a band called Ministry of Magic.
I'm just saying. Thanksgiving, Danielle. What's going on? Give us a glimpse of what's happening with you for Thanksgiving. What's the deal?
It's gonna be a very, very small, private Thanksgiving. My family, or our outside family, our aunts and my grandmother isn't gonna be here. They're off elsewhere, which is really sad because they were just here for my grandmother's birthday in the beginning of October. So it's just gonna be a small one. It's gonna be me, my family, and my sister. So the 4 of us. And we're probably gonna be cooking and eating enough food to feed, no joke, probably around 20 people.
Wow. That's intense.
Actually, we don't have turkey. My sister is a vegetarian, but she does eat fish. So I forget what type of vegetarian it is.
Pescatarian? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. So she's actually, cooking some baked stuffed salmon.
Ooh.
And I am making a prime rib.
What?
And
where am I gonna be at? I need to roll through.
And we'll have a lot of food for that too.
Golly.
And then on top of that, everything else is just pretty much, we have the staple Thanksgiving foods, like we'll have mashed potatoes, green bean casserole, stuffing, and a pumpkin pie, but
Nice.
we're also making, dishes that are our favorite things. So I'm making lazy sushi rice. My son wants a pasta salad, a potato mac salad. Let's see what else. I think my son is baking a lilikoi chiffon pie. And then, I don't know, after that, it's just whatever everybody feels like.
You guys are doing it right now.
Then, what is that?
That's a lot of food.
It is a lot of food. I'll send you pictures. Send you pictures of this feast that 4 people are going to be having.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't do turkeys. I have not cooked a turkey or had a turkey Thanksgiving in probably 5 years.
Because?
I'm not a fan of turkey. It's not that turkey is bad. I like the flavor of it, but I get really sick of eating it really, really quickly. Like when it comes to Thanksgiving, I'll get this single little slice of turkey and I'm good. I don't want to eat it anymore.
Okay.
So to have a whole turkey, nobody's going to eat it. It's just going to go to waste.
Okay.
And I don't know how to cook a turkey without it being dry.
Yeah. It's, what you got? What are you thinking?
Chicken though. Trouble says just get turkey wings and or drumsticks. See, like nobody's gonna eat those though. Maybe the turkey wings, but not really.
Yeah. Turkey wings are dope.
No. I just want the skin. I know that's like the worst part to eat, but I like the skin and that's it. I can eat that for days. I would actually, I don't know.
Yeah, you gotta throw that gravy on there. You gotta do that gravy on there.
We'll have the gravy for the mashed potatoes, but that's kind of it. Oh, and because I gotta have my elotes at TwitchCon, I gotta go and figure out if I can get all the ingredients here locally, specifically just the cheese, for elotes, and then just regular corn on the cob as well too. But other than that, yeah.
So they got this spreadsheet going on over here on my side, where everyone is picking a different dish that they made last year. So originally I was like, this idea is like, I'm not feeling it because I don't want someone who doesn't make macaroni and cheese to make macaroni and cheese. Like, I hope your macaroni and cheese is going to be dope because there's always somebody designated for the thing, and the thing that they make is the thing that everybody wants to eat. And that goes for everybody who makes their thing. Right? So whatever that dish is, that's your thing. So this year they're like, you know what? We're not going to do that. We're going to do something different. This year, we're going to have you pick a dish that you didn't make. So usually my thing is bread pudding because I slay it, right? Every single time, right? But I'm not making that this year. Maybe. I'm debating. So they have me on this, yams thing that I got to make. I'm like, you know what? I'll try it out. Maybe it'll work out. But, that's what they're doing. So they got the spreadsheet going on. And everybody got their dish and mac and cheese that tastes sweet.
What kind of sweet?
That could be all right. If it's
like maple brown sugar caramelized over the top of it kind of sweet.
If it's embedded well done into the actual thing, I think that could be okay.
I like my mac and cheese fancy. Like, I don't know how to make bougie mac and cheese, but I really like mac and cheese that has like the crab. And then the crusted breadcrumbs.
Seriously. Bougie mac and cheese. I should name this episode Bougie Mac and Cheese. You'd be like, what are you talking about? Why did you name the episode that? I don't know. I just might. But I don't know if that would, tell the companies that talk about their stuff if I named it Bougie Mac and Cheese. Blame it on Daniela.
What kind of cheese is sweet? I can't think of sweet cheese. I don't know cheese. I know I like cheese, but I would try it. I would eat it.
Word.
Oh yeah, we are very Filipino. Our Filipino spaghetti is sweet too, so.
I don't know anything about that. Y'all gotta send me recipes. you know, I'll share the bread pudding recipes if you guys want to check it out. I made it somewhat vegan this time around. No egg in it. Obviously sugar with the raisins and stuff like that. It came out really, really amazing. The trick to doing the bread pudding, as I was telling Daniela recently, is that you cook it longer. So the cooking hours for the bread pudding is 2 hours. Early prep is like 20, 25 minutes or less. And you can't leave the bread soaked, you can't leave it soaked in the milk for a long time. I mean, I'm talking about seconds. So that's the secret. Don't leave the bread soaking in the milk. Get a very dense type of bread, like an Italian loaf or sesame seed loaf type thing. And then, cooking time is essential. Has to be. The first hour is to burn off most of the sugar stuff and dry it up a little bit. Second hour is just messing it up, you know, mixing it up and then putting it back for the second hour. And then after that, it's just amazing. Get some pumpkin ice cream with it or vanilla ice cream or something. Just wow. It's just amazing. It's amazing. So yeah. So if you guys want recipes, I'll post it in Discord. Word.
Actually, maybe
we could do that.
Like mac and cheese will work. We're still the
What? Okay, y'all making me hungry. Okay, so Daniela, I'm thankful for you, in context, for being so dope and, hanging out with me on the show as always. You've been a blessing and I appreciate you for all the things that you do that nobody sees, that makes everything easy. Word. I appreciate you. So, that is all I have for this episode 476. Danielle, if you have anything, let us know and close us out, please.
Well, I'm thankful for you.
Aww,
I mean,
you're so kind.
Almost 2 years. I realize it's almost 2 years because this is going to be our second Thanksgiving.
Yes.
I've been with you for the show radio. So we're almost like at the 2-year mark for me being a part of the show radio.
Absolutely.
Which has been such an amazing and fun experience. So I'm grateful and thankful for that every day.
Aww.
I'm also thankful for everybody that tuned in today.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys for making it fun. And I am grateful for the inventor of the body pillow.
Okay.
Because that thing is awesome.
It's all good.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So that's good. All right.
Appreciate that. Thanks for hanging out. It means a lot.
But thanks for tuning into our podcast. Missed our live show? You can join our Discord where you can leave questions and be a part of our community. You can also head over to Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast app and subscribe, rate, and review our show. For our show notes, visit theshowradio.info, and thanks for tuning in and see you guys on the next one. Bye guys.